Hello everybody and welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol reveal breakdown. And today it looks like they have revealed Karnak and Gorgon, the second half of the Inhumans box coming out. I want to say either February or March. I don't actually remember the release date now. But yeah, coming relatively soon. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into this. I literally just opened this, so I haven't seen these at all yet. So this is going to be my first impressions here as well. And first things first, we got a shot of the three kind of good guy characters in the box facing off against Maximus here. Really, really cool. These models do look sick. I am definitely excited to be painting some of these up. So going down here a little bit more, it looks like we're going to get our first stat block here, which is going to be Karnak. And Karnak is a really, really cool character, so I'm very interested in how they're going to handle his kind of abilities here. So it looks like they've decided to make him a 3 threat. All right, cool, cool. I wasn't sure if we were going to see a 3 in this box. I was starting to think it was going to be all 4s and up. So neat to see that. He's coming in with 3/3/4 defensively and 5 stamina. All right, so a little bit of a stronger Mystic side there. Size 2 and a medium move. And I think these guys are all small bases. Yeah, that looks right to me. So nothing too crazy so far. Then we go into his attacks here. And his first one is going to be the Shattering Strike. So Shattering Strike here is coming in as a range 2, 5 dice physical attack. It's going to gain him power based on the damage dealt, so your standard builder text there. And it's got a wild push. It looks like it is a mandatory push. There's no may on this for any size character, and it's going to be away small. So yeah, that's pretty solid. I mean, any size push is certainly nice to have, so that's pretty neat. Next, we go into his spender here. This is Let Me Show You Your Flaw. This is a range 3, 7 dice, 4 cost attack. When calculating successes for this attack, you add the number of skulls in both attack and defense rolls to your total successes. That's, yeah, that's going to hit pretty hard. No other text on it, so no sort of control or anything like that coming out of this, but definitely a solid damage-dealing attack there. So, yeah, not bad at all. Starting on his superpowers here, the first one is going to be Meditate. This is an action. It's going to cost you 0 power, and you're going to gain 2 power. You can only use this once per turn. So cool, you can kind of battery yourself up. It's going to be really, really interesting how that might get used in something like Inhumans, original Black Bolt Inhumans, where you'll be able to share the power around a little bit more. So that's going to be neat. Also, just help him use his spender and stuff like that more often, so that's cool. Teachings of the Three Worlds is his next superpower here. This one's going to cost you 4, where another allied character within range 3 makes an attack or defense roll. During the calculate success step, this character may use this superpower. So that's after the normal modify step, okay? The allied character may add up to 2 of their skull results to total successes. Oh, that's really neat. Okay, I like that a lot. Yeah, that's just cool. All right. That's really neat. I like that quite a bit. Now, it is specifically another allied character. He can't use it on himself. So, yeah, really, really cool support ability. Definitely on the expensive side, though. If you spend your full turn meditating, you can use this superpower exactly once. Oh, and it's only once per turn, so never mind. That's not how this works. So, yeah, that's pretty expensive, but it is a really, really good effect because you know exactly what you're getting out of it, unlike, you know, like paid rerolls or something like that, where there's a chance that you get something. This one, you know exactly what you're getting, and that definitely adds a little bit of value to it. So, yeah, that's really, really cool. Happy to see that. Next, he has Pinpoint Weakness. This is going to be a reactive superpower that's going to cost him 2. After an attack against this character is resolved, or this character resolves an attack, it may use this superpower. Place a weakness token, okay, on or move an existing weakness token to the attacking or defending enemy character. This character may only have 1 weakness token in play at a time. Okay, so there can only be 1 of them, but he can basically shift it around anytime he either gets attacked or he makes an attack. Cool. What does that actually do? Analyzing Strike, I'm assuming, is what's going to explain that. When this character attacks or defends against an attack from an enemy character with a weakness token, this character rolls 3 additional dice. Okay, that's pretty good. After the attack is resolved, the weakness token is removed. Okay, so it's kind of like Drax's Vengeance token, but he can hand it out when he attacks as well. But then as a downside, it costs him 2. But then as another upside, it's when he defends as well. So yeah, that's neat. I like that. That's definitely cool. Alrighty, next he has Inhuman. He can reroll 1 die in his attack or defense rolls. That's going to be really, really nice for that Shattering Strike, helping with the consistency on the power gain a little bit, as well as the Wild Push. So yeah, surprise, surprise, he's an Inhuman. He has that. And then lastly, he has Martial Artist here. When he defends against a physical or energy attack from within range 2, he adds blanks. So that's going to help him be a little bit bulkier in close quarters. He's still probably going to go down pretty quickly from more range-focused attacks, but if someone tries to double tap him, as long as he has the power to throw the weakness token out on them, then he's going to be able to roll 3 dice on the second attack, so that feels pretty good as well. And it does look like this is a mandatory, so you can't be like, oh, you're attacking me, but I wanted to save the weakness token for when I attack you. No, if they're attacking you, you have to roll the 3 additional dice. But that said, after the attack is resolved, you're going to lose the token, and then if you have the 2 power, you can put it right back on them. So kind of works out either way. But yeah, this is a really, really cool design for a character. The one thing I'm a little worried about is he's going to be very power hungry, even with Meditate, because that like barely pays for anything he's trying to do. So I think he's going to be a little power starved, but under Black Bolt 1, he's probably going to be just fine, because you can just kind of funnel power towards him, or if for whatever reason he's a little bit flooded, if he's had some really good builders or something like that, he can throw some power out to your other characters, or you can use him as a battery with Meditate there. So yeah, I think he's really, really interesting in Inhumans, specifically under the first Black Bolt. But yeah, really neat character. Definitely love where they kind of went with his abilities here. So cool. Happy to see that that it looks like they did him a fair bit of justice. Looks like they've also given us his flip side here, and looks like his health is the same, and I'm going to go ahead and say all of his abilities are the same as well. So no changes for Mr. Karnak here between the front and the flip. But that's fine. I think his front was totally fine. So yeah, he's probably a little on the squishier side if you're against a more ranged team. The martial artist is great if they're at close range, but because he doesn't have like anything like stealth or something like that, if you're going up against like shield or guardians or something like that where they can shoot you from pretty far away pretty comfortably, he's definitely not going to last super long in those sorts of situations. But still, really, really cool character. I definitely like what he's kind of going for here. All right, scrolling down slightly further in the document here, we have Gorgon revealed. So really excited to see what they're doing with him. And it looks like they've also made him a 3 threat. So cool, great to see that. Love to see a couple more 3s coming into Inhumans. They already had an okay splattering of 3s, but their 3s were kind of for very specific roles. So having some more variety there definitely helps them a lot. So Gorgon is coming in, as we mentioned, as a 3 threat. He's 4/3/3 defensively, so a little bit better on the physical side. Alrighty, he's got 6 stamina, so already a little bit bulkier than Mr. Karnak here. And he's going to be a size 2 and a medium move, and I think we already established he's on a small base. So yeah, pretty standard set of base stats there. Going into his attacks, it looks like he has 3 of them. The first one is going to be a Mace Strike. This is a range 2, 5 dice builder. So yeah, he's going to be gaining power based on the damage he deals, and it's going to have a wild stun. And yeah, it is after the attack, so not, the best timing for a stun, but still not bad. And he's most likely going to have the Inhuman superpower, so 5 dice builders with a reroll are pretty decent. Next, he has Hoofquake. This is a energy attack. It's going to be a beam 3. 4 dice attack, and with a wild shock on it. Okay, that's neat. So yeah, I think that's a nice little utility attack. It's also going to cost him 0 power, and a great way of kind of trying to throw out some shocks. Again, you're probably going to have an Inhuman reroll on these, so that's going to feel pretty good as well. So yeah, I like that a fair bit actually. Next, he has the God Crusher. This is going to be a range 3, 8 dice, 4 cost physical attack. Okay. After the attack is resolved, if the target character is size 4 or less, this character may throw it away small. Ooh, a guaranteed throw as long as they're size 4 or less. And a size 4 character throw. That is just really, really good for a 3 threat. You don't see those super often, so that's fantastic. And it's also got a wild stagger on it. Okay, this spender is really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and say right there. That's throwing a good amount of dice. That's got a large size throw that's guaranteed. And if you get the wild, which on 8 dice, and yeah, he does have the Inhuman power here, so it's gonna have a reroll. Jumping ahead a little bit there. Getting the wild stagger is gonna be not like every time, but pretty consistent. So yeah, that feels pretty good. That is a fantastic spender in my opinion. Next, we go into his other superpowers. He's going to have a charge. This is a 2 cost, and yeah, we've definitely seen this one before. He's going to make a move followed by an attack action, and he can only do it once per turn. And yeah, that's going to be great for him because he's got those kind of close range. That is something I was noticing with Karnak up here, is he's going to have a little bit of a harder time closing the gap because he is a little bit more melee-oriented and doesn't really have any mobility on his card. So yeah, Gorgon definitely kind of makes up for that with his charge here. He also has, you're going to have to deal with me first. Ooh, is this taunt? This is a taunt. It's a 2-cost when an enemy character within range 2 of this character targets another allied character with an attack. This character may use this superpower. This character becomes the target of the attack regardless of range and line of sight. I love taunts. I don't know if he's necessarily the best taunter in the world. His defensive stats are fine, but he doesn't look like he has any sort of damage reduction or any defensive rerolls or anything like that other than his one from Inhuman here. So he's probably not the bulkiest character in the world, but still, a taunt is a taunt, and sometimes it's really, really useful to just kind of be like, no, I don't want you to take that model down. I want you to take this model down instead. So yeah, still really, really nice to have. And then, of course, he has immunity to poison, which I think all Inhumans do, except apparently Karnak doesn't. I guess they ran out of room on his card. Interesting. I don't know if there's, like, a lore thing for that, because I'm pretty sure almost, if not all, of the Inhumans have immunity poison, so it's interesting that they didn't give that to Karnak. Definitely let me know if you're a big Inhumans fan, what the lore behind that might be, or if that's just a they ran out of space in the card sort of thing, because now I'm curious. But yeah, overall, I do really like this kit. I think, having a taunt just immediately makes him a win for me. But even before that, having this spender is just really, really good. Yeah, he just strikes me as like a solid, relatively hard-hitting 3-threat. He's going to charge in there. He's going to taunt an attack or two. And yeah, those spenders are gonna wreak havoc, but he can also just kind of throw some disruption out with some shocks and maybe the odd stun here and there. So yeah, definitely a fan of Gorgon. Really, really liking where he's turning up. But of course, we'll have to see his flip side as well, which I'm assuming is a little bit further down in the document. And yeah, scrolling down slightly more, we have his flip side here, where he does go down to 5 stamina, so he's going to be a slightly squishier model on his flip side there. But still 4-3-3 with a reroll, so still not bad. He's not going to get one shot by most things. But yeah, otherwise I think he's the exact same here, unless I'm missing anything. Definitely let me know if I am. But yeah, I do like where this character has kind of landed. I think the 1 less stamina definitely makes the taunt less appealing on his flip side, but I still think he's pretty solid, and the taunt is still useful to just kind of have there. Even just to threaten it can be one of those things that makes your opponent think twice about how they want to play their turn. So yeah, I really like Gorgon. He's definitely going to be included in a lot of my Inhumans rosters going forward. And scrolling down slightly more, it looks like we have a few tactics cards coming out here. So the first one is going to be the Great Refuge, and I'm going to try and scroll in on these so they're a little bit easier for you guys to read. So the Great Refuge is a new Inhumans card. It's going to be an active card, an Inhumans character with an active leadership ability. Okay, may spend any amount of power to play this card. For each 2 power spent to play this card, choose an allied Inhumans character without an objective token. Place each chosen character within range 3 of its current location. Alrighty, so Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge, but can only be spent by your leader. That's really, really interesting. I think that's neat. I think that's really, really cool, and definitely works well for some of the Inhuman leaders that are really, really good at building up a bunch of power, notably both the Black Bolts. Or no, wait, Black Bolt 2 can't be a leader. Black Bolt 1 and could be interesting with Maximus, because I think his leadership, if I remember correctly, gives him power when your allies are rolling skulls, so that's kind of an extra way you can make up for the downside of his leadership. Be like, oh, my model rolled a skull and got placed out of position, well, now Maximus can teleport them back on the point. Actually, that's probably what this card is for, is to make Maximus's downside have a little bit of extra mitigation. So yeah, I do like it for that, and just in general, I think it's a useful card. Anytime you can move models out of their activation feels pretty good in this game. So yeah, Great Refuge, definitely a solid inclusion for the Inhumans roster there. Next, we have Royal Guardians. This is an unaffiliated reactive card. When an allied character is targeted by an attack and is within range 3 of an allied Karnak and or allied Gorgon, Karnak or Gorgon can spend 3 power to play this card. I already love where this is going. You guys know me. I love my taunts. I love my bodyguards, those types of cards. Place the character that played this card within range 1 of the allied character. The placed character becomes the target of the attack. After the attack is resolved, oh, and they're different based on whether it's Karnak or Gorgon. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. If Karnak was placed and is not dazed, and there are no allied weakness tokens on the battlefield, the attacking character gains a weakness token. Okay, that's actually not that big of a thing, but okay, sure. After the attack is resolved, if Gorgon was placed and is not dazed, the attacking character gains the shock and stun conditions. That one I think is more interesting, and yeah, Big fan of this. I mean, I love my Heroes for Hire style cards, and I think it's really, really cool that they do slightly different things, whether it's Karnak or Gorgon. I think the Karnak one is a little bit redundant because he would be able to pass the weakness token to the enemy character anyways, albeit it would cost him 2 extra power, but he's already spending 3 to play the card, so I mean, yeah, that's definitely a nice thing that it does, but I don't think it's necessarily crazy. I mean, there are going to be situations where it's really, really useful, so I guess there is that, but um, yeah, I think Karnax is fine. Gorgon's is probably better, but also nothing crazy. I don't think either of them are as good as the Heroes for Hire effect, where you get to throw the character, but still, I think it's pretty good, and giving Inhumans access to a card like that is really, really cool. So yeah, huge fan, and also just, splashable if you're thinking about splashing either Karnak or Gorgon. Most of the cards like this that have these types of effects end up being like near auto includes with the characters that they're for, and for me that's definitely going to be the case here because I just love these. And lastly, for the new cards, we have In Homo Supremus. This is an Inhumans reactive card. During the power phase, an Inhumans character may spend 4 power to play this card. This round, while an allied Inhumans character is making an attack and is within range 3 of one or more other allied Inhumans characters, when it uses the Inhuman superpower to reroll dice, it may reroll 1 additional die in its attack roll. Interesting. Okay, I like that a lot. I think that's really, really cool. Just giving them extra rerolls. Give your entire team, basically, as long as you're not too far spread out, 1 extra reroll on all their attacks for a round is really, really good. So yeah, that just seems like a good card to me. It is a little bit expensive. 4 power is definitely not cheap. Probably not something you're playing super early in the game, but you can definitely have some big swing turns with that. So yeah, really, really solid card in my opinion. Alrighty, and scrolling down slightly more, it looks like we have reached the end of the document here. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about this here, actually. I was somewhat skeptical as to whether or not I was going to care at all about these 2 characters, and I don't know what's happened to Karnak here. Half of him has gone missing, but I'm really happy with the way they've decided to design these. I think Karnak is really cool. I don't know if he's necessarily good, but I think he's got some really interesting things going on, and I'm always there for an interesting design. And then for Gorgon, I think he's just pretty solid. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit biased. He has a taunt and he has access to a Heroes for Hire card, so immediately I like him. But I do think that Spender is insanely good, and I think his other kind of toolboxy options for his other attacks are solid as well. I think I'm going to be a little hesitant to use the beam too often because it doesn't generate any power, and I do think he's going to want the power to be able to God Crusher more often. But otherwise, I really like his kit, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to play. So Gorgon's definitely the winner for me here, but because they share the Heroes for Hire card, I'm definitely going to be playing both of them together all the time because, I mean, I love doing it with Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I do it in Midnight Suns, I do it in Avengers, I do it in a few different places. I think having 2 characters that can play that card on the field at the same time makes for some really, really interesting plays, and I believe, yeah, it does work like most of the others where they can play it on themselves if they really want to as well. So that works in fairly interesting ways as well, just giving them the little bump and stuff like that and being able to get the other effect off. Karnak's less so on the other effect part because it's actually cheaper for him to just do it anyways, but he can still use the bump and things like that. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan. I think this is really, really cool, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with both of these characters. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys happy with the way these characters have come out here? Always curious to hear what you guys think. Do you think they're too strong, too weak? Personally, I'm definitely a little bit higher on Gorgon right now. I think Gorgon's pretty solid. I don't think he's busted or anything like that, although the Spender is definitely insanely good. Karnak, I'm not too sure about. I don't know if he's going to be all that good in the grand scheme of things. I think his lack of mobility is going to be his biggest downside. But let me know if you guys disagree with me. If you think Karnak's actually the winner here and he seems really, really good, and I just have the rose-tinted glasses of, oh, I saw a taunt on Gorgon. Very curious to hear what you guys think. But that is going to do it for my breakdown here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We break down new stuff like this as soon as it is available, generally speaking at least. So if you want to see more of that stuff, definitely stay tuned for that. We're still waiting on a bunch of scenarios from the Gladiator box, but we also do other videos here. We got a bunch of discussion style content throughout the weekdays, and we got battle reports on the weekends. So if you're a fan of any of that sort of thing, feel free to jump on in. But that's going to do it for now. So until next time, have a great day, everybody. Peace.